Welcome back to Everyday Adventures in Cooking with Rick. Tonight we're doing another garden episode, I guess, garden series. Garden's doing great, and one of the things that is really doing great this year is my basil. I've got so much basil, it's unbelievable. I got a few different varieties, but I'm just growing like crazy. And one of my favorite things, and my family's favorite things, is pesto. I make a lot of pesto every year. I keep it in the fridge, I freeze it, and then I have it all year. I use it on my sauce, I just make pesto pasta, I use it as a marinade on chicken. Unbelievable. So we're going to do a very simple pesto recipe. Now with pesto, most of the traditional recipes have nuts in it, whether it's pine nuts or which are pignoli nuts, Italian nuts, or walnuts. I've never put them in there. And I'll go back to learning from my mother. She never put any nuts in her pesto. It was literally just basil, olive oil, garlic, and cheese. And everybody loves it. It's a big hit. Just recently though, because one thing with pesto when you make it is it tends to turn brown. It's kind of like when you make guacamole, it turns brown. I found the secret online recently. You have to blanch your basil leaves in hot water for just a few seconds. It stays green. Actually, I'm going to show you. I'll be right back. Here is some pesto I made a few days ago. And I keep it in the fridge, and we put it on bread like spread. We put it on a little pasta, whatever. Look at that. It is still bright green. Doesn't turn brown at all. Hasn't lost any flavor. So I'm going to show you what we do. Another quick recipe. Here I've got, we're going to call it 4 cups of basil leaves if you kind of pack them a little bit tight. I've got a pot of boiling water, which I'm actually going to turn down. I probably should have done a bigger pot, but that's okay. I've got a strainer that fits right in there. Right. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to put my basil leaves in there, and I'm talking 10 to 15 seconds tops. You're going to put your basil leaves right in the water. That's it. Get it in there for about 10 seconds or so. I don't understand why, but this will keep them from turning brown. Now I'm just going to strain these out. I'm going to quickly hit it with cold water to stop them from cooking. I don't want them to cook. All right? And now what we're going to do when we get this done is what you want to do is you want to dry these off, whether you lay them out or you put them in a salad spinner or whatever you do. You want to kind of get most of the water out of these. So I'm going to dry those off now and I'll be right back. Alright, so the basil leaves we blanched 10 seconds in the hot water, cooled them off instantly, dried them up as best we could. I'm going to put those right into my blender. You can use a food processor, whatever you want to use. The basic recipe for pesto is 2 cups of leaves, a couple of cloves of garlic, and about a half a cup of cheese and some olive oil. The olive oil to consistency. So I've got what started as about 4 cups. It seems, I think whether you blanch them or don't, you get the same amount of pesto when you're done, because by the time you're done, pulverizing them. Now this garlic is also from my garden. I'm using, these are small. I planted this garlic. I've been using the same bulbs for a few years now, and I replant. They don't get real big, but they have excellent flavor. So I've got about 5 or so of these little cloves of garlic that we are going to just peel and put that in there. Wow. I mean, fresh, this is fresh garlic. I just picked it a few days ago. this smell and flavor. You know, if you don't have a garden, and I think you'll probably see some pictures of my garden that I took that she'll probably put in the video. And I know not everyone has the ability to have a garden, but please support your local farms. There are so many amazing farm stands out there. That garlic has amazing flavor. I'm only going to put 4 of these in there. I don't want to overpower the basil with the garlic. But anyway, if you have a local farm stand near you, just go there. The difference in the vegetables when they come right from the farm, it is a huge difference. And then you can make this stuff on your own. So what do I have here? I have the basil. I have the garlic. Now I have fresh grated imported Pecorino Romano cheese is what I'm using here. Now Pecorino Romano cheese has a real saltiness to it. So you don't have to add salt to this when you use the Pecorino Romano. So I'm doing, this is a half a cup right here. And I think we're going to go with a half a cup of cheese for now. And I'm going to put some olive oil in there and then see how much more I need. So I'm going to put maybe a 1/4 cup of olive oil in there. Get this going and see what it looks like. If you use the food processor, it's nice because you can actually pour the oil in while it's going, but whatever, I have the blender out. So we're going to blend this up. And then you need to add a little more olive oil in there to get it started. Get this going. Let's see. It always happens when you're filming. Things don't always work out the way it's supposed to, right? That's why this is everyday adventures in cooking with Rick. Am I missing a part?
Oh, don't unscrew it.
Because this worked. This mixed up in there. I think I may need some more olive oil.
No, I think you should switch to the food processor. I think something's up with that.
Nothing's up.
Okay.
It needs enough liquid to get started. Hold on. My wife's doubting me. Now it's become a challenge. They shouldn't be doing this.
I know the bottom's not on right.
It's not?
No. That's why it's not working.
But it just worked a minute ago.
Look, it's crooked.
No,
Right?
it's not crooked. It's perfectly straight. Try one more time. Hold on.
God.
Oh, I might not have to. Hold on.
See? It would have been done if you switched.
But I didn't. We're going to shut down for a second. Okay, so I've been blending this for. I had a little problem with the blender, as you saw. I had it together wrong. I fixed it, blended it, and now I just, mix it up like that. Once it's all blended for a few minutes, it's done. Now, you can do this to taste. For me, I'm sure this is fine. So we're going to put this out in the bowl here. You can see kind of it's pretty thick. That's what you want. That was probably, that was a half a cup of cheese, about a half a cup of olive oil I would say we ended up in there. And again, you do that, and I'll scrape this out because you don't want to waste any of this. And now you've got pesto. This is so versatile. Again, I use it on everything. One of my favorite appetizers, you take take a French bread, cut it, toast it, put a little of this and a little mozzarella on it, or this and tomato. Oh, it's fantastic. I'm going to taste just a little here. You can taste the basil is just so strong with the saltiness from the cheese and a little hint of the garlic. Wow. And now what I'm going to do with this is I freeze this. Now I'll freeze it in a Tupperware container and with a little saran wrap or a cling wrap or something in it. So now during the year, I take it out, I cut a chunk off, I use it in sauce, I use it in pasta, do whatever I want. Or you can freeze it in ice cube trays. Now you have an ice cube size piece of pesto that you can throw in your sauce or use in pasta or do whatever you want. Anyway, here it is, the basic pesto recipe with just pesto, garlic, cheese, and olive oil. And use a good quality olive oil in this because you're not cooking this, so you want a really good olive oil. Again, another quick, simple recipe, a way to use up all that basil in the garden, and quick meals during the week that you can make with the pesto. Again, thank you for watching, and subscribing, and liking, and clicking. I appreciate it. I appreciate any comments. And until next time, we'll see you later.